I'm Jason Day, and I've known my mentor now for 32 years. I did have a big brother previous to Rick, and it just wasn't a good fit. So they matched me with Rick, at 12 years old. I had a lot of anger issues when I was a kid, but there was no like male presence in my life to kind of guide me or like kind of teach me to, no, that's kind of wrong, or maybe you should try it this way, or just kind of talk it out. And my mom was a single mom and she raised us amazingly, but Rick kind of came into the best part of my life to be steered into another direction. When he came into my life, it was, please, thank you, respect your elders, hold the door for people, like respect people that give you respect, also don't take anything that you're not supposed to. And he kind of just was there, answered questions, taught me how to drive, taught me how to shave, stuff like that. It was stuff that, you need growing up as a kid. When we first started, I was a fibber, because I wasn't fibbing to lie, I was fibbing to impress. So yeah, I fished. Yeah, I've taken fish off the hook. Yes, I've done this. Yes, I've done that. And then as we do things, he would look at me and go, huh, okay, but never would call me on it. Again, that's the type of guy he is. He would just show me how to do it, and then I would do it. And then my fib became reality, where it was like, oh yeah, like I still know how to do it to this day. I remember the one time he was just like, we're going tobogganing. And I'm like, oh, all right, we're going tobogganing. So we packed up to toboggans and then we went to the Northumberland forest, and we would literally just toboggan down the trails, like the hiking trails. So some of them were high, some of them were steep or whatever. And he told me, he's just like, you need to take the toboggan and go up as high as you can. And he's like, I'll be right there. And I was like, okay. And I never thought anything of it. And then he comes running up a few minutes later and he's laughing like crazy. So I'm like, oh great, this is the classic Rick prank or whatever the case is. So anyways, we come barreling down this big hill around the corner, and there's a snowman right in the middle of the thing. So of course I stick my boot out and it collapses all in and around us. We kind of like do a tumble and stuff. It was hilarious, and I think it was more funny for him than it was for me, but there's too many though. Like I could sit here for hours and tell you all the story. We have so many memories, it's even hard to like pinpoint like the good ones. It's hard to actually put into words how much he actually means to me. So like, he's been a part of my wedding. He was around when my daughters were born. Like, he's always been there. So, I mean, like, he won't admit it, but to me, he was more of my father figure growing up. So he means a lot to me, yeah. One of those things where we don't spend a lot of time with each other, and we do, it's more valued time. But, just going out to his place, having a campfire, having dinner, talking, kind of catching up. We go fishing, stuff like that. But again, it's few and far between, but it's treasured and valued when you're there. If you're a parent, everybody knows, sometimes you just get to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, like they're driving me crazy, right? But I always kind of sit back and think like what Rick was like in that situation too. So I kind of just take a step back and remember some of the conversations we've had, and then you're just like, okay, well, why don't you just ask them? So I would ask my kids, like, what do you think, or why? And then your conversation kind of opens up a bit more, and then afterwards, after the dust has settled and the fighting stopped, and you're just like, all right, life lessons instilled from him to me that now I'm passing on to my kids. So it's just pass it on. Like I said, he's been a big part of my life for 32 years, and I've become the man that I am with his influence, and I really thank him for that.